Welcome back to my channel and to Kier, a Severance-themed Animal Crossing island. Since the last video, I've made enough progress to get to 3 stars, which means we'll finally be able to flatten the island. Let's take a quick tour around to see what I did to easily get to 3 stars, and we'll also take a look at the new villagers that I found. Everything that you see will pretty much be demolished and rebuilt. Nothing is going to stay here. I planted flowers and put up fencing all around the island in small pockets. Once finished, this will be the abandoned nursery at Half Loop Road. I stole a bunch of authentic Lumon art from a treasure island and scattered it around. They'll be moved to optics and design later. All the furniture I acquired was scattered around the island randomly. Together with the flowers and the fencing, I was able to get to 3 stars in just a day or two after receiving Isabel. It doesn't really matter if the furniture makes sense or goes together to make it to 3 stars. This might be the future site of Pip's Bar and Grill. None of my villagers have asked to move out yet, and Zucker is one that definitely needs to go. And when that day comes, Mark will use his joy reaction. Let's take a look at our new employees. We still have Sprocket and Tammy who need to leave. I went villager hunting and found Admiral. He was one of my options to represent Irving. The name Admiral works because in the Season 1 finale, we learned his dad was in the Navy and he had service medals on his wall, and his quote here seems pretty mysterious and important. Mira was an autofill accident. We'll ignore her for now. Next we have Rattle, the frog who dresses like a doctor. He's going to represent Dr. Mauer. I haven't decided yet what his house will be. I also found Rex, who was on my list to represent Rickon. He just gives me Rickon vibes. He seems very philosophical. But now that I have Rex, I'm not sure if I'll still need to hunt for a kangaroo villager to be Devon. If I do, I'll put her house next to Rex's and decorate them as different rooms from Devon and Rickon's house. Either way, I plan to decorate the exterior to look like the real house. Lastly, O'Hare was the first campsite villager who you were required to take, so he'll have to be replaced too. Before I can start construction or deconstruction on the island, I have to purchase the permits for waterscaping and the cliff building. Once I'm ready and have the custom paths I need for the roads, I'll buy the custom path permit. The Able sisters haven't set up shop on the island yet, so I don't have the design portal. Once I do, I'll be able to start shopping for some basic custom codes like paths, roads or sidewalks, but anything that is specific to the show, I'm going to design myself. So I'm starting in the back right corner and working my way down. It took hours to flatten the whole island, and even though the end product will have cliffs, a river, and the tallest waterfall on the planet, I need to create a totally blank space to be able to plan out my map. I still haven't added Mark's innie to the island yet, or else he could have done this work. I'd picked up a bunch of these powder room booths. At night they're lit up, so I was thinking of using a whole bunch of them to make a viewpoint of the Lumon building at night, but I haven't decided yet if I'm going to set the island dream address to nighttime or in the early morning, like when it's time to start work. I guess it depends on whether or not the powder room booth trick will look the way that I want it to look. I just have some river to fill and more trees to remove, and then the island will be a complete blank slate. My next steps for the island are, first I need to replace the unwanted villagers. I also need to add Mark S as a resident because his house will be part of the Lumon severed floor. And before starting the first builds, I'm going to draw a more fleshed out map and make sure I have enough room for everything I want to include. That concludes today's shift. Be sure to subscribe so you can clock into the next one.